won't even be here to cheer at the game.
When do you leave for Italy?
Pretty soon.
Aren't you excited about Europe?
Yeah, but not about going to a new school my final year. I won't know anyone. Again.
You'll get to know them just like you did here.
I wish I could be like you, Joni. You can talk to anyone.
You'll do better than you think. Moving a lot helps you learn to talk to new people.
Well, maybe.
Just do the same things as you did here, like cheerleading.
Yeah, but what if my new dog school doesn't have cheerleading?
Oh, so they'll have lots of stuff like soccer and drama club. Your folks can help you find out.
I wish I could live with a friend and finish school here.
Oh, you're better off with your own family. When we were assigned here, my folks made me get out and meet people.
Well, there is one reason I'm excited about the new school.
Yeah?
The boys there have got to be better than the ones here.
Trusted? Anything better.
When you're ready to travel, Space A is a good way to go. There are a few things you should know about traveling Space A that'll make your trip go more smoothly. First of all, come in and register in person after your leave has started, and bring your leave form with you. Your family doesn't have to come along to register, as long as you bring their ID cards and passports. When you're ready to go, remember that military members need to be in uniform when traveling Space A. Sometimes you may have a single destination in mind, but even if you don't, you can still register for Space A travel to as many as 5 different countries. Pack carefully. Just take what you really need. Space A luggage is limited to 2 check bags totaling no more than 66 pounds. And carry-on luggage must fit under the seat. Remember, traveling Space A is a privilege available to you and your family, so be smart about using it. It's a good way to go, when you know the rules.
I'm Brooke Shields with American Treasury. Lots of us dream of faraway islands. But for 100 years, one of the faraway islands Europeans dreamed of was, of all places, California. The misbegotten maps after this.
A sponsor can help ease the way before you move and help answer some difficult questions once you're there. Ask for a sponsor. Be a sponsor. Sign up with your sponsor program.
California's early explorers knew it well. In 1579, Sir Francis Drake spent 2 months on a beach north of San Francisco. Others had been up and down the coastline by then, and Coronado had traveled to the Gulf of California. Still, European mapmakers thought that California was really an island. From 1600 to about 1700, their maps showed California out in the Pacific, cut off from mainland America. The maps are in the Library of Congress. Learn about mapmakers in your library.
Be sure to step into the Gasthaus tonight as we continue interviews from the lovely Hausberg Lodge. Tonight we'll talk about hunting and fishing opportunities available in Bavaria. Gasthaus in Garmisch, tonight at 7:50 on AFN.
And that is from vitamin A deficiency. This could have been prevented. He is one of 42 million blind people in the world today. Helen Keller International prevents nutritional blindness and infectious disease with high doses of vitamin A. Helen Keller International treats families who suffer from other blinding eye conditions. Helen Keller International saves sight and life. Helen Keller International, Box 777, New York, 10011.
So you say somebody broke into your home here?
It happens.
A watch, camera, and running shoes are missing?
Part of his story checks, Joe. Those are military boots he's wearing, not running shoes.
Anything else?
He's not wearing a watch. What time did you lose your watch?
He won't know what time. His watch was stolen.
I'm just testing the story, Joe.
How did the thief get in?
I checked that, Joe. Front door unlocked, a couple of windows open.
11:02 a.m. we ran down the basics of crime prevention. We told him to keep all doors and windows locked at all times. Ask a neighbor to check the home every so often and make it look occupied. Never leave a key under a doormat or in any other obvious place. Too bad his camera was stolen. Maybe he could have taken a picture of the thief.
Maybe, Joe. But he couldn't have caught up to the thief to take his picture.
How's that?
Because the thief had his running shoes.
This is Superstation, the American Forces Network, Europe.
Down your street and around the country, we're AFN, your Superstation in Europe.
Another Dr. Jekyll?
Dr. Jekyll can't keep Mr. Hyde from killing someone, but you can. Drive him home, or send him in a cab.
I found out I'm too good a mechanic to spend my whole life changing fan belts. When you're good at what you do, you ought to work someplace where doing things right really counts. Aim high, Air Force.
There has never been anything quite like the Marx Brothers in American films. And more than 50 years after they made their classic comedy, Duck Soup, Groucho's not-so-subtle asides to Margaret Dumont remain unmatched in their hilarity.
Well, that covers a lot of ground. Say, you cover a lot of ground yourself. You better beat it. I hear they're going to tear you down and put up an office building where you're standing. You can leave in a taxi. If you can't get a taxi, you can leave in a huff. If that's too soon, you can leave in a minute and a half.
Chico was a man of few words.
Ciccolini, give me your number from 1 to 10. 11, right.
While Harpo didn't speak at all, even when impersonating the great Groucho.
Swine. Come again?
But whether it was insulting a head of state...
You upstart. That's it.
...or doing an outrageous music spoof, the king of the hill was Groucho.
I surrender! I'm sorry, you'll have to wait till the food runs out.
Victory is ours!
Groucho, Chico, Harpo, and Zeppo. Together they formed America's most ingenious comedy team, the Marx Brothers.
Vacation in Garmisch, there are soldiers in school learning Russian history, lifestyles, and honing in on their language skills. We'll fill you in on what's going on tonight on Gasthaus on the Superstation AFN.
This may look like a worthless bunch of rocks, and these dolls look like they have seen better days. But to your children, these things are prized possessions. If you're making a PCS move, be sure to ask your children before you throw out something that may be important to them. Let them help choose which items to bring with them. After all, moving is a lot easier when your best friends come along.
I'm Christopher Atkins with American Treasury. One of the most popular toys of all time began its life deep in a jungle as a deadly weapon. How an instrument of fear became a source of fun after this.
Some people think that instances of fraud, waste, and abuse are just a drop in the bucket. But it all adds up. So if you see it, report it before we all get soaked.
Long ago in the jungles of the Philippines, natives battled their enemies with a heavy grooved disc attached to a long rope. The hurled disc would knock an enemy warrior down and would come back to the thrower to be used again. In English, the weapon's name meant come-come because it came back. But the jungle warriors didn't speak English. In their own language, they called the deadly device a yo-yo. In the 1920s, a smaller, tamer version on a string became a toy. It's a fact in the Library of Congress. Learn more about toys in your library.
If you're having problems with your mail, contact your local APO postmaster first. You're viewing AFN Television Europe.